Hi, it's Teresa from Dodge Nature Center, and time for another Nature to Go. Now, a lot of times when we see leaves that are chewed on, we think about the insect being on top of the leaf or under the leaf and busy eating away at it. But today we're going to talk about an insect that's not on the leaf, it's not under the leaf, it's actually in the leaf.
What are we looking for? Well, we're looking not at the holes that are in the leaves, but the lines that are on these leaves. That's what is being created by the insects that we're interested in this week on Nature to Go.
You think about leaves, okay, they're wide, but then when you think about on edge, they're not very thick, not much thicker than a sheet of paper, and yet something's living inside that leaf.
What makes the lines on the leaves is a kind of insect called a leaf miner. Now, the leaf miners are a variety of insects. There are flies that are leaf miners. There are moths that are leaf miners. There are beetles that are leaf miners. There's hundreds of different kinds of leaf miners, but their life histories are very, very similar in what creates the lines on the leaves. The life cycle starts with the adult, the fly or the moth or the beetle, laying an egg on a host plant. That egg hatches out after a couple of days, and it's a larva. It's a caterpillar-looking thing, but it goes into the leaf. And then it starts to eat, and it continues to eat and eat and eat, molting as it goes along until it gets to that point where it is a pupa. And in a lot of cases, the pupa drops out of the leaf down to the ground, where it may overwinter or where it may hatch out that same season, and then comes out as an adult, and the life cycle starts all over again. What I find so fascinating about leaf miners is looking at the lines they create in the leaves. Do you see how it's really thin? And then as you trace the line, it starts to get wider and wider and wider. And each time, on each of the different kinds of plants, you can see this pattern of the line getting wider and wider the farther it goes. And it's doing that because that larva inside is getting bigger and bigger. It's growing, and you can see how it's growing by the thickness of the line that it's making in the leaf. It needs more space as it gets bigger. There are over 1,700 different kinds of leaf miners in North America. Here in Minnesota, we tend to find moths using the trees and flies using the understory. But you're not going to likely see the moths or the flies or the beetles because they're so tiny. They're maybe only about 3 millimeters in length. But you are able to find the patterns left behind on the leaves, which is fascinating. So the next time you're out at the Nature Center, start looking around, especially if you're walking through the woods, and look for the patterns on the leaves, and you'll know you're seeing leaf miners. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Nature to Go, and we'll talk to you again next time.